Imagine a country without a capital, where trains move slower on purpose, cows have their own tunnels, and time itself seems to obey the mountains. A place so clean, disciplined, and breathtakingly beautiful that even chaos feels organized. Switzerland, a land of silence and precision, where glaciers meet luxury, and every clock tick echoes centuries of craftsmanship. From villages without cars to cities built on rivers, from chocolate dreams to billion-dollar banks hidden beneath calm streets. This is not the Europe you think you know. Today, we journey into the heart of a nation that defies every convention, where order becomes art and simplicity becomes power. Get comfortable and take a deep breath. We're not racing anywhere today. We're slowing down to the calm heartbeat of the Alps to discover 17 mind-blowing facts about Switzerland, the world's most unconventional country. Number 1. Switzerland. No sea, no capital, yet the beating heart of Europe. At the very center of Europe lies a country that refuses every cliché. It has no coastline to frame its borders, no official capital to mark its crown, and yet Switzerland pulses with an order so precise it feels alive. Officially known as Confederatio Helvetica, this landlocked nation stretches just 41,000 square kilometers, roughly the size of Maryland, but holds more stories per mountain than many empires. Here, the language changes with the landscape. German in Zurich, French in Geneva, Italian in Ticino, and Romansh whispered in the valleys of Graubünden. 4 tongues, 1 heartbeat. Bern, the federal city, serves quietly as the nation's administrative soul, where sandstone arcades meet the turquoise flow of the River Aar. Switzerland's beauty lies not in scale, but in precision. Its trains glide to the second, its lakes mirror the sky with surgical calm, and its neutrality turns this small republic into a diplomatic giant. This is a country that doesn't shout its greatness, it measures it. Now, as the alpine wind carries the sound of distant bells, let's journey deeper into its secrets, to discover 17 astonishing truths about the world's most unconventional country. Number 2. Mürren, the timeless, car-free village in the sky. Hidden high above the Lauterbrunnen Valley, Mürren clings to the edge of a cliff like a secret whispered by the Alps. No engines roar here, no exhaust clouds the air, just the quiet rhythm of life suspended between heaven and earth. Reached only by cable car or mountain train, this village of barely 400 souls feels like stepping into another century, one where time still walks instead of runs. Every morning, sunlight drips down the snow-covered roofs while the sound of cowbells rises from the meadows below. Children walk to school through mist that melts into sunlight. Shopkeepers sweep their doorsteps. The smell of fresh bread and pine fills the narrow lanes. Even the mail arrives in silence, delivered by an electric cart, guided not by GPS but by memory. Mürren is the very definition of serenity crafted by choice. Here, people live slower not because they must, but because they can. They ski instead of drive, grow flowers instead of lawns, and greet strangers as if they were neighbors. Each balcony overlooks eternity. Each day begins with gratitude. The village stands as a reminder that progress doesn't always mean acceleration. Sometimes it means preservation. From Mürren's cloud-kissed rooftops, you don't just see Switzerland, you feel its soul, precise, peaceful, and profoundly human. Now, let's descend from these silent peaks and meet the people who shape this harmony, beginning with the women whose strength and grace define modern Switzerland. Number 3. Swiss women. Independent, elegant, and fearless. In Switzerland, womanhood has long been a quiet revolution. Here, equality isn't shouted, it's lived. Swiss women walk through life with the calm assurance of those who build both mountains and futures. They lead corporations, win Olympic medals, and still find time to hike the same alpine trails their grandmothers once walked to gather herbs. Strength, in this country, has always worn elegance. In Zurich or Geneva, you'll meet bankers and architects who switch effortlessly between 3 languages. In the countryside, women run family farms powered by solar panels and tradition alike. The average marriage age now exceeds 30, but not from hesitation, from choice. Independence is the new dowry. Even leisure reflects confidence. Climbing clubs where women outnumber men, ski groups that turn weekends into rituals of resilience. They manage portfolios as deftly as they navigate glaciers. Beneath their modest manners lies a fierce clarity that success is not measured by noise, but by balance. Swiss women are proof that progress can be graceful. Their strength doesn't compete with nature, it harmonizes with it. And as we continue our journey, their spirit echoes across the Alps, guiding us toward the next chapter of modern Swiss love and the curious culture of connection that follows. Number 4. The dating culture. Farewell cafes and mountain love apps. Love in Switzerland doesn't begin in nightclubs or crowded streets. It begins in altitude. In a nation where punctuality is sacred and silence is golden, romance finds its own quiet rhythm. In Zurich, there's a new kind of cafe, the Farewell Cafe, where couples meet one last time to end things gracefully, sharing a cappuccino before parting with dignity. No shouting, no drama, just 2 hearts signing peace treaties over coffee foam. But the Swiss don't stay single for long. They simply take love outdoors. Dating apps here come with hiking maps. To find a soulmate, you might have to conquer a mountain together. Find a trekking partner isn't just a slogan, it's a philosophy. If you can survive the climb, maybe you can survive life together. This is love, Swiss style, quiet, practical, deeply human. It's about shared effort, not endless words. A smile halfway up the trail, a hand extended when the path turns steep. That's romance in the language of the Alps. And as the wind carries laughter through pine trees, we descend from matters of the heart to the true royalty of Switzerland, the queens of the hills, whose bells sing across the valleys. Number 5. Cows, the queens of the hills. In Switzerland, cows are more than livestock. They're symbols of pride and tradition. Across the green slopes, they move with the calm dignity of queens, their heavy brass bells echoing like songs of the Alps. Farmers know them by name. Their bells mark time better than clocks. Each autumn, the Des Alpes celebrates their return from summer pastures. Villagers line the paths as cows descend, crowned with flowers, music filling the air. A farewell to summer and a tribute to heritage. It's not just agriculture, it's identity. Some regions even build special tunnels for their safe passage, proof that respect for nature here runs deeper than convenience. These gentle giants give more than milk. They sustain a rhythm that unites generations to the same land. As dusk settles, bells fade into lullabies, and sunlight turns the fields to gold. From these peaceful meadows, another sound begins to rise, the haunting, timeless voice of the mountains themselves. Number 6. Alphorn and Des Alpes, the music of the mountains. When the sun melts over the Swiss Alps and mist drifts between the peaks, a single sound rises, long, deep, and ancient. It's the call of the Alphorn, a wooden instrument stretching nearly 4 meters, played not for applause, but for communion. Once used by shepherds to call their cows home across vast valleys, the Alphorn has become the heartbeat of Swiss heritage, a bridge between solitude and sound. Its tone rolls through the air like liquid gold, echoing across glaciers and pine forests, carrying a kind of mountain melancholy that words can't capture. In modern Switzerland, it's performed at festivals and national holidays, where hundreds of players line the meadows, their horns pointed to the sky in perfect harmony. The scene feels almost spiritual, a dialogue between man and mountain, a reminder that music here was born from distance, not crowds. And every autumn, this music joins the Des Alpes, when cows descend from their summer pastures adorned with floral crowns. The horns play as the herds return, marking the rhythm of a tradition that refuses to fade. In a country known for precision, the Alphorn embodies emotion, imperfect, human, timeless. From this melody of peaks and echoes, we travel next to a place where silence itself becomes luxury. The car-free kingdom beneath the shadow of the Matterhorn. Number 7. Zermatt. The village beneath the Matterhorn. At the foot of the legendary Matterhorn lies Zermatt, a village that seems untouched by time, protected by snow and silence. For more than 5 centuries, cars have been banned here. The air is crisp, the streets are cobbled, and the soundtrack of life is the crunch of boots on frost. Only small electric taxis and horse-drawn carriages glide through its narrow lanes, as if technology learned to whisper. Zermatt is not just a postcard, it's the blueprint of Swiss sustainability. The village runs almost entirely on renewable energy, with strict environmental codes that even luxury hotels obey. Each window frame is crafted from aged wood. Each balcony drips with geraniums that bloom defiantly against the cold. But the true crown of Zermatt is the Matterhorn, the sharp, solitary pyramid that pierces the clouds. At dawn, its peak turns gold, mirrored in lakes so still they seem painted. For mountaineers, it's a rite of passage. For poets, a cathedral of solitude. In Zermatt, life slows to the rhythm of snowflakes and footsteps. The world feels both ancient and impossibly clean, like nature itself decided to pause here. And from this car-free kingdom, our journey continues on steel rails, aboard the most beautiful slow train on Earth. Number 8. Glacier Express, the slowest luxury train in the world. There's a train in Switzerland that moves slower than your thoughts, and that's exactly the point. The Glacier Express takes 8 hours to glide from Zermatt to St. Moritz, crossing 291 bridges and 91 tunnels through landscapes so unreal they feel painted. It's not a journey for those in a hurry. It's a meditation on motion itself. Inside, the silence hums with perfection. Floor-to-ceiling glass windows frame glaciers, valleys, and wooden chalets like scenes in a slow-turning film reel. Passengers sip white wine from Valais, dine on rosti and mountain cheese, and watch as light changes color with every tunnel. Outside, the world bends to Swiss precision. Bridges curve like ribbons, snowfields glitter under the thin alpine sun, and tiny villages pass by like postcards from another century. The Glacier Express doesn't race to destinations, it redefines them. It teaches that luxury isn't speed or excess, but presence. Every click of the rails is a heartbeat of a country that values stillness as much as success. And when the train finally disappears into the horizon, we arrive in Zurich, not to rush, but to walk the most elegant street in Europe, where time, money, and silence all speak the same refined language. Number 9. Bahnhofstrasse, the street of quiet luxury. In Zurich's heart lies Bahnhofstrasse, a street where wealth doesn't boast, it breathes. Barely a kilometer long, it's among the world's most expensive avenues, yet its power is silence. No flashing ads, no chaos, just polished trams, glass facades, and windows that speak in understatement. Here, luxury is precision. A Patek Philippe ticking behind crystal glass, a minimalist Chanel display glowing like meditation. Even the banks exude calm authority, guarding fortunes in stone and silence. Zurich's legendary discretion was born here. the art of confidence without noise. Locals stroll unhurried, pausing at Sprungli for coffee and truffles that melt slower than time. Bahnhofstrasse isn't about showing wealth. It's about mastering restraint. And from this quiet opulence, our path leads to another kind of luxury, one that bubbles up naturally from the mountains themselves. Number 10. Leukerbad, the thermal capital of Switzerland. Deep in the canton of Valais, between the cliffs of the Gemmi Pass, lies Leukerbad, a town that feels like the Alps decided to create their own spa. Hot water gushes naturally from the mountain's heart, filling pools that steam even in the dead of winter. Here, wellness isn't an escape. It's a way of life passed down through centuries. Romans once bathed in these same springs 2,000 years ago, believing the waters carried divine healing. Today, travelers come not to worship gods, but to rediscover stillness. The mineral-rich pools reach 40 degrees Celsius, their mist wrapping bathers in silence while snowflakes fall on their shoulders. Luxury resorts rise beside public baths, proving that in Switzerland, serenity belongs to everyone. Locals swear that an hour in Leukerbad can cure fatigue better than sleep. Scientists might argue, but the body knows better. When you float beneath an open sky surrounded by peaks, peace becomes physical. At sunset, the pools glow orange against the cold stone cliffs. The town falls quiet, and only the sound of bubbling water remains, a heartbeat beneath the snow. From this sanctuary of warmth, our journey flows onward to Bern, the federal city where time itself has been measured for centuries. Number 11. Bern, the federal city on the river Aare. Switzerland may not have an official capital, but Bern plays the role with quiet dignity. Nestled within a loop of the turquoise river Aare, this medieval city feels like a watercolor painting left to dry in sunlight. Its cobbled streets curve gently around sandstone arcades. Its clock tower, the Zeitglocke, strikes each hour with the precision that defines an entire nation. In Bern, politics and poetry coexist. It's home to the Swiss parliament, yet it never feels like a city of power. Instead, it feels human. A place where cyclists glide past government buildings, where people swim in the river during lunch breaks, carried by currents so clear they reveal pebbles on the bottom. The rhythm of life here is gentle, deliberate, content. At dusk, the scent of roasted chestnuts mixes with the murmur of cafe chatter. The distant Alps shimmer like a promise on the horizon. Bern doesn't try to impress. It invites you to slow down, to listen to the heartbeat of a nation that believes efficiency and empathy can share the same space. From this timeless capital of calm, our path winds deeper into what makes Switzerland so unique. Not just its beauty, but its order, the invisible design that keeps everything and everyone perfectly in place. Number 12. Cleanliness by design, the art of order. In Switzerland, cleanliness isn't just a habit, it's a way of thinking. Streets in Zurich and Lucerne look untouched, lakes shine like mirrors, and even mountain trails seem swept by the wind. To visitors, it's perfection. To the Swiss, it's respect, for each other, and for time itself. Recycling is a civic ritual, color-coded bags, strict schedules, and quiet Sundays when even lawnmowers rest. Order here isn't control, but community. A shared belief that harmony is built one mindful act at a time. Even Zurich's 1,200 public fountains flow with drinkable water, symbols of trust in public space. Precision shapes daily life, from punctual trains to spotless platforms. In Switzerland, cleanliness means more than the absence of dirt. It's the presence of discipline. And from this calm perfection, we move toward a different kind of order. Festivals that turn precision into joy. Number 13. Festivals and traditions. Joy in precision. For a nation famed for discipline, Switzerland knows how to celebrate with precision and heart. Every year, the country explodes in color, music, and pageantry, a reminder that joy, too, can be organized to perfection. From Basel to Geneva, each region guards its own centuries-old traditions, stitched carefully into the rhythm of modern life. In winter, Basler Fastnacht transforms the quiet city of Basel into a riot of masks, lanterns, and piccolo flutes. At exactly 4 a.m., all the lights go out. Then suddenly, thousands of masked drummers flood the streets, leading a carnival that lasts 3 full days. It's chaos choreographed like ballet, where even rebellion keeps time. Farther west, Geneva celebrates l'Escalade, recalling the city's victory over invading troops in 1602. Locals smash chocolate cauldrons filled with marzipan vegetables, a sweet reenactment of history, ending with laughter instead of war cries. And once every 2 decades, the vineyards of Vevey host the Fête des Vignerons, a UNESCO-recognized spectacle where farmers, dancers, and choirs turn winemaking into theater under the open sky. These festivals show a nation that balances restraint with exuberance, structure with soul. Switzerland may be tidy, but never dull. From its colorful parades, we now step back into its measured rhythm to explore why this little country remains one of the most expensive, yet most content in the world. Number 14, the cost of living. High price, higher quality. Switzerland is one of the most expensive countries on Earth, and somehow, its people consider that a fair trade. In Zurich or Geneva, renting a modest 1-bedroom apartment can cost $2,000 a month. A simple restaurant meal? Around $25. Even a cup of coffee can feel like a luxury. But the Swiss don't see this as a burden. They see it as the price of perfection. Every franc buys reliability. Trains run on time. Tap water tastes better than bottled brands. Hospitals, schools, and public services function with surgical precision. You pay more, but you worry less. And that peace of mind, to the Swiss, is priceless. The average monthly income hovers near $7,000, one of the highest in the world. And though taxes are steep, they return in the form of spotless infrastructure, universal healthcare, and safety so consistent, it feels unreal. Even garbage collection happens on schedule, down to the minute. In smaller cities like Lucerne or Lausanne, costs drop, but the quality doesn't. It's as if the country has mastered the art of fairness in luxury. Comfort without chaos, order without arrogance. And while wallets may feel lighter here, hearts often feel full. Because in Switzerland, living well isn't about owning more. It's about living precisely right. From these numbers and balances, we move to another kind of wealth, the richness of flavor that defines the Swiss table. Number 15, the culinary paradise of Switzerland. If Switzerland is an orchestra of order, then its cuisine is the melody that gives it warmth. Every dish tells a story of survival and simplicity, of mountain winters and resourceful hearts. The food here isn't flamboyant, it's honest, crafted to comfort both body and soul. Start with Rösti, the golden potato pancake that began as a farmer's breakfast in Bern but became a national treasure. Crisp outside, tender inside, it's served with melted cheese or cold cuts, a humble dish that tastes like home. Then comes Elpler Magronen, the Alpine macaroni, pasta layered with potatoes, cream, and onions, topped with applesauce. A strange yet perfect harmony that could only be Swiss. Of course, there's fondue, the ritual of gathering around bubbling cheese, dipping bread and laughter into the same pot. In those moments, social distance dissolves. Time feels irrelevant. And for dessert, the famous Engadiner Nusstorte, a walnut caramel tart born in the valleys of Graubünden, rich enough to sweeten even the coldest day. Swiss cuisine mirrors its people, modest, precise, and sincere. Every flavor balances restraint and indulgence, just like the country itself. And behind every perfect bite lies the same spirit that built its most iconic exports. Masterpieces of precision that tick, shine, and endure. Next, we enter that world of timeless craftsmanship, where steel, gears, and genius meet art, the Swiss watch and the legendary army knife. Number 16, watches and knives, the art of Swiss precision. If Switzerland had a heartbeat, it would tick. For centuries, this small country has turned time into art, building watches so precise they became symbols of perfection. In workshops scattered across Geneva, Bielle, and La Chaux-de-Fonds, artisans work beneath magnifying lenses, polishing gears no larger than a grain of sand. The result is legacy. Names like Rolex, Patek Philippe, Omega, and Audemars Piguet, brands that transformed punctuality into poetry. Each watch tells more than time. It tells a story of patience. A single piece may take months to complete, every movement assembled by hand. It's mechanical choreography, metal breathing with soul. Even the Swiss Army knife follows that same creed of functionality and finesse. Invented in the 1890s for soldiers, the little red tool evolved into a global icon. Part blade, part screwdriver, part metaphor for Swiss ingenuity. Together, the watch and the knife represent two sides of the Swiss spirit: precision and practicality, elegance and endurance. They're proof that mastery doesn't shout. It hums quietly, like a second hand circling endlessly yet never late. And behind that silence lies the same discipline that built another kind of fortress, not of steel or stone, but of trust. Our next stop, the discreet, powerful world of Swiss banking. Number 17. Banks, the silent power of the Swiss economy. Beneath the calm streets of Zurich and Geneva lies a different kind of treasure. Vaults of silence that built one of the most trusted banking systems on earth. Swiss banks are not merely institutions. They're sanctuaries of discretion. Here, privacy isn't secrecy. It's tradition, carved into law and reinforced by culture. For over a century, this quiet confidence has attracted clients ranging from royalty to inventors, from artists to entire nations. Inside these marble halls, transactions move like clockwork, invisible, exact, and disciplined. Credit Suisse and UBS are more than financial titans. They're symbols of a national philosophy: stability over spectacle. During global crises, while markets trembled, Switzerland stood steady, neutral not just in politics, but in finance. What makes it remarkable isn't just the wealth, but the restraint. Swiss bankers are trained to measure risk the way watchmakers measure gears, with patience and humility. In a world obsessed with speed, they mastered endurance. This balance of trust and precision has made Switzerland a financial heartbeat of the planet, a place where money doesn't shout, it whispers. And as our journey comes full circle, from glaciers to gold, from silence to precision, we arrive at the heart of what makes Switzerland so extraordinary. A country that has turned perfection into peace and simplicity into power. Switzerland is more than a postcard. It's a philosophy carved into mountains and mirrored in lakes. A nation that proved beauty can be disciplined, and silence can have meaning. Here, perfection isn't cold. It's kind. It gives shape to serenity. As the last light fades over the Alps, one truth lingers. This country doesn't demand admiration. It earns it, quietly, every day. Thank you for traveling with us through Switzerland, where time slows, hearts steady, and every second feels exactly right. See you in the next journey.